And given that the highly favorable is plus or minus 5% and moderately favorable is plus or minus 20%, we got the upper bounds and lower bounds as 95, 105 and 80, 120. Now, what we have to do is using the let's say there is a normal distribution curve with mean 100 and a standard deviation of 30. What's the probability that the rainfall is between 105 and 95? That we have calculated using the normal distribution curve, and we observed it to 0.1324. For the moderately favorable, it's plus or minus 20%. But it is important that we subtract the highly favorable scenario, because if it is a plus or minus 5%, we consider it to highly favorable. So subtracting that, we get the normal distribution as 0.36, and less favorable is 1 minus the entire thing, which will give you 0.50. Similarly, for a gamma distribution, the mean value for a gamma distribution, the mean is given as alpha beta and variance is alpha beta square. We know the mean and we know the standard deviation. Using that, we have calculated the alpha and beta, and we observed it to be 11.1 and 9. Using the alpha and beta, using again the same upper bounds and lower bounds, we've got the probabilities for the gamma distribution as well, as has been mentioned. So using these new probabilities, we have tried to get off to a expected payoff values. So with the standard deviation being 30%, we observe that the normal distribution, for the normal distribution case, sulfur plus is still maximum, and for the gamma distribution case, sulfur plus is still maximum. But coming to the right table, which says at the sensitivity point. So for what that indicates is, for a normal distribution case, your optimal point will change at the value of 5.16%. So if the standard deviation is less than 5.16%, then your optimal solution is no longer sulfur plus; it will be Dara plus. And even if you assume gamma distribution, your optimal, if the standard deviation of the rainfall is less than 11.45%, it's Dara plus. So it's important to understand what's the general standard deviation of rainfall looks at. So given the case, given that the factor is in MP, we assume that the rainfall distribution that we have been always referring to is based on MP. So looking at the data, previous 40 to 50 years of data, we observed that the standard deviation usually ranges between the 30% range. So that indicates a clear clear direction towards the sulfur plus. So all this analysis is based on the assumption that we are purely depending on a quantitative aspects, and there could be certain qualitative aspects and constraints which could also be evaluated in this process. Could we go to the next slide? Yeah, so these are the certain references where research papers where it has been proven about the gamma distribution and standard and the normal distribution, and the below chart distributes the rainfall patterns for the past 50 years. Thank you.
Thank you, team Congress Taylor. Now I would like to request our honorable judges for the Q&A session.
So you have done this reference and all. What is your take that which method is most good to predict that rainfall?
Sir, so gamma distribution and normal distribution are the ideal ones, but the issue with the normal distribution in general is if we say for a normal distribution, there is always a probability that the rainfall is mu less than mu minus sigma. If the sigma is 100% of the mu, then the rainfall less than mu minus sigma wouldn't make sense in a normal distribution, and we have to assume that anything less than mu, the function should be changed into maximum of 0, the normal distribution function. So this is the complication which we get to the normal distribution. So the gamma distribution would be an ideal fit based on analysis.
So you went through this. Have you thought that simply go by max mean, mean max, something like that, or
yes, sir. So we have gone through the minimax and maximin in the questions phase, which has been given in the starting. So in the cases where we do not assume any probabilities and we go ahead straight away without in a highly unprobabilistic scenario and we do not have any probabilities, that's when we use minimax and maximin. In the first few slides where we had to go through the case question by question, we had used the minimax and maximax frameworks to come up with the solution at sulfur plus and
from Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, to present. So I ask Team FireV to confirm their presence, please.
Hi, yes, we are here.
Okay. Thank you for confirmation. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Is the presentation visible?
So guys, are you sharing the screen or do I have to share the screen?
Screen is already shared by us.
Okay, just okay.
Hopefully you will be able, you can see the presentation.
Yeah.
Is it properly visible? Can we go ahead? Okay, so your time starts now.
So, good evening, everyone. We are Team FireV from IIM Ahmedabad. Can you move to the next slide? Yeah. So, for the first question, knowing that no concrete forecast information is available on expected monsoon pattern, what should ABC Limited do? So, for this, we have tried to do Monte Carlo simulation. And in this, as the probabilities of the three scenarios were not known, we tried to run some 1,000 simulations and then see what is the results that we obtain and which is the payoff that we get for like the maximum payoff, in which situation do we get the maximum payoff. So in this we got around for sulfur plus the payoffs were maximum in most of the situations, and then therefore we decided to go ahead with sulfur plus product. So this is you can see in all the runs sulfur plus has come out to have the maximum payoff, almost more than 95%. So this is our answer for the first one. For the second one, Aisha can go.
Right. For the second question, so it was what should be the best choice of our product for the company under an optimistic. Right. For the second question, so it was what should be the best choice of our product for the company under an optimistic scenario. So as we can see for all the 5 products under 3 cases, less favorable, moderately favorable, and highly favorable, we can see the maximum payoffs in less favorable was for sulfur plus, moderately favorable was for also sulfur plus, and for highly favorable it was for Dhara plus. So for the optimistic case, here we have taken the Maximax scenario, and out of the maximum payoffs, we can see that the maximum payoff out of these 3 was for Dhara plus, which is a highly favorable case. So we have considered in optimistic scenario the Dhara plus. The company should manufacture only Dhara plus. Next slide, please. So in the case of pessimistic scenario, as I already mentioned, in the case of pessimistic scenario, we have taken the minimax approach. Out of these maximum payoffs in each of these scenarios, the minimum payoffs is 800 for the sulfur plus in less favorable case. So we have taken sulfur plus in this case for the pessimistic scenario. Next slide. For fourth question, it was mentioned that how much does a company lose, how much payoff does a company lose if it takes a wrong decision in each scenarios. So it was calculated by subtracting the payoff from the maximum payoff in a particular scenario. And we can see that these are the figures which a company comes up with all these cases in both of the pessimistic and optimistic scenarios.
Yeah, can you move to the next slide? Okay. So the next question was, if the occurrence of various monsoon patterns is equally likely and the company wants to hire a climate expert consultant, what is the expected value of this perfect information? So as a first step, what we did was we tried to find out the expected payoff for all the products that were given to us. And in that, it was very evident that when we multiplied the payoff for each of the scenario with 0.33, the expected value that came out was maximum for sulfur plus. Therefore, for a without consultant scenario, we have decided to go ahead with sulfur plus, which gives out a payoff of 1050 crores. Now, if we consider the scenario where we employ a consultant, in this case, we assume that since we will be getting the information from the consultant, we have tried to look at the maximum payoff for each scenario. Therefore, as you can see, it's not sulfur plus for all the three, because in the highly favorable scenario, Dhara plus is actually giving a higher payoff than sulfur plus. So then we multiplied this with the probabilities and found out that the payoff for this situation will be 1083 crores. And subtracting the scenario, the payoff for without consultant scenario, we came up with a figure of 33.33 crores, which is the incremental benefit we will get if we employ a consultant. Therefore, we can say that the maximum value of the perfect information that can be obtained from consultant will be around 33 crores. Next slide. Yeah, so then there was another situation that cloud seeding increases the chances of highly favorable monsoon by 20% above the two conditions. So if the company decides to hire cloud seeding service, how much should the company be ready to invest? So actually here we had a bit of confusion where whether we were supposed to consider the previous question and build it upon that, or consider it as an independent scenario. So we have tried to look at both the scenarios, like where we go without consultant, with consultant, and cloud seeding, and without cloud seeding as well. So for this, like I mentioned in the fifth question, for the without consultant scenario, again, we have tried to find out the product using the expected value. The sulfur plus here again gave the maximum payoff, and therefore sulfur plus was considered for the without consultant scenario. So we just multiplied it with the probabilities for each of the scenarios. And then, as you can see, for no cloud seeding, the payoff came out to be 1050, while for cloud seeding, it came out to be 1100. So here we can say that cloud seeding is giving an incremental benefit of 50 crores. While if we employ a consultant and then decide to go for cloud seeding, then what will happen? So in this, again, we try to look at the individual maximum values that for each of the scenario, and then find out the expected payoffs. So for no cloud seeding, it came up to be 1083, and for cloud seeding, it came up to be 1146 crores. So here, if we employ a consultant and then go for cloud seeding, we will get an incremental benefit of 63.33 crores, and this should be the amount that we should invest in consultant as well as cloud seeding together. So this is the answer that we came up with, and yeah, that is all from our side. And if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer.
Thank you very much, Team Fireview. So now I request honorable judges for Q&A session.
So you have done a good amount of analysis. Just I want to ask you that it
आओ इधर आजमाओ निडर विचारों का खोज ख्वाबों का शिखर
है अगर कोई प्लान तो आकांक्षा में आओ जो शोध है यहाँ के स्टडी धुरीना में मैनेजर कहलाओ
तो सोचो उठो आओ इंतजार करना क्या क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य 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 क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य
कृषि चाणक्य कृषि चाणक्य कृषि चाणक्य कृषि चाणक्य कृषि चाणक्य कृषि चाणक्य कृषि चाणक्य कृषि चाणक्य
ये फेस्ट ही नहीं मान है हमारा
रोको ना रोको खुद को मौका आए ना आए दोबारा है अगर टैलेंट तो तू दे चुनौती तू खुद को
पूरे भारत से यहाँ आते बच्चे करते साबित खुद को
तो आओ इधर आजमाओ निडर विचारों का खोज ख्वाबों का शिखर तो सोचो उठो आओ इंतजार करना क्या क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य 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 क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य
आओ इधर आजमाओ निडर विचारों का खोज ख्वाबों का शिखर
है अगर कोई प्लान तो आकांक्षा में आओ जो शोध है यहाँ के स्टडी धुरीना में मैनेजर कहलाओ
तो सोचो उठो आओ इंतजार करना क्या क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य 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 क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य
कृषि चाणक्य कृषि चाणक्य कृषि चाणक्य कृषि चाणक्य कृषि चाणक्य कृषि चाणक्य कृषि चाणक्य कृषि चाणक्य
ये फेस्ट ही नहीं मान है हमारा
रोको ना रोको खुद को मौका आए ना आए दोबारा है अगर टैलेंट तो तू दे चुनौती तू खुद को
पूरे भारत से यहाँ आते बच्चे करते साबित खुद को
तो आओ इधर आजमाओ निडर विचारों का खोज ख्वाबों का शिखर तो सोचो उठो आओ इंतजार करना क्या क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य 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 क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य
आओ इधर आजमाओ निडर विचारों का खोज ख्वाबों का शिखर
है अगर कोई प्लान तो आकांक्षा में आओ, जो शोध है यहाँ के तेरी धुरीना में मैनेजर कहलाओ।
तो सोचो उठो आओ इंतजार करना क्या, क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य, 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 क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य।
कृषि चाणक्य, 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 कृषि चाणक्य।
ये फेस्ट ही नहीं मान है हमारा।
रोको ना रोको खुद को, मौका आए ना आए दोबारा। है अगर टैलेंट तो तू दे चुनौती तू खुद को।
पूरे भारत से यहाँ आते बच्चे करते साबित खुद को।
तो आओ इधर आजमाओ ने डर, विचारों का खोज ख्वाबों का शिखर। तो सोचो उठो आओ इंतजार करना क्या, क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य, 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 क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य।
आओ इधर आजमाओ निडर, विचारों का खोज ख्वाबों का शिखर।
है अगर कोई प्लान तो आकांक्षा में आओ, जो शोध है यहाँ के तेरी धुरीना में मैनेजर कहलाओ।
तो सोचो उठो आओ इंतजार करना क्या, क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य, 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 क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य।
कृषि चाणक्य, 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 कृषि चाणक्य।
ये फेस्ट ही नहीं मान है हमारा।
रोको ना रोको खुद को, मौका आए ना आए दोबारा। है अगर टैलेंट तो तू दे चुनौती तू खुद को।
पूरे भारत से यहाँ आते बच्चे करते साबित खुद को।
तो आओ इधर आजमाओ ने डर, विचारों का खोज ख्वाबों का शिखर। तो सोचो उठो आओ इंतजार करना क्या, क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य, 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 क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य।
आओ इधर आजमाओ निडर, विचारों का खोज ख्वाबों का शिखर।
है अगर कोई प्लान तो आकांक्षा में आओ, जो शोध है यहाँ के तेरी धुरीना में मैनेजर कहलाओ।
तो सोचो उठो आओ इंतजार करना क्या, क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य, 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 क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य।
कृषि चाणक्य, 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 कृषि चाणक्य।
ये फेस्ट ही नहीं मान है हमारा।
रोको ना रोको खुद को, मौका आए ना आए दोबारा, है अगर टैलेंट तो तू दे चुनौती तू खुद को।
पूरे भारत से यहाँ आते बच्चे करते साबित खुद को।
तो आओ इधर आजमाओ ने डर, विचारों का खोज ख्वाबों का शिखर। तो सोचो उठो आओ इंतजार करना क्या, क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य, 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 क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य।
आओ इधर आजमाओ निडर, विचारों का खोज ख्वाबों का शिखर।
है अगर कोई प्लान तो आकांक्षा में आओ, जो शोध है यहाँ के स्टडी धुरीना में मैनेजर कहलाओ।
तो सोचो उठो आओ इंतजार करना क्या, क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य, 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 क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य।
कृषि चाणक्य, 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 कृषि चाणक्य।
ये फेस्ट ही नहीं मान है हमारा।
रोको ना रोको खुद को, मौका आए ना आए दोबारा, है अगर टैलेंट तो तू दे चुनौती तू खुद को।
पूरे भारत से यहाँ आते बच्चे करते साबित खुद को।
तो आओ इधर आजमाओ ने डर, विचारों का खोज ख्वाबों का शिखर। तो सोचो उठो आओ इंतजार करना क्या, क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य, 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 क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य।
आओ इधर आजमाओ निडर, विचारों का खोज ख्वाबों का शिखर।
है अगर कोई प्लान तो आकांक्षा में आओ, जो शोध है यहाँ के स्टडी धुरीना में मैनेजर कहलाओ।
तो सोचो उठो आओ इंतजार करना क्या, क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य, 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 क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य।
कृषि चाणक्य, 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 कृषि चाणक्य।
ये फेस्ट ही नहीं मान है हमारा।
रोको ना रोको खुद को, मौका आए ना आए दोबारा। है अगर टैलेंट तो तू दे चुनौती तू खुद को।
पूरे भारत से यहाँ आते बच्चे करते साबित खुद को।
तो आओ इधर आज़माओ ने डर, विचारों का खोज ख्वाबों का शिखर। तो सोचो उठो आओ, इंतजार करना क्या, क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य, क्योंकि आ गया है कृषि चाणक्य।